In this video, we are going to work on an Algebra 1 review flipbook. We're going to start with multi-step equations and exponents. So we're going to do some of these together as notes, and some of them will be done as homework for you. I will give you answers, just so that we can recall how to do some of these problems. So let's do number 1, and then let's do number 2. So number 1, when I go through and teach solving equations, and I know it's just a review for some of you, but some of you need it, in the equal sign I like to draw a line. In that line that tells me whatever I do to the left side I have to do to the right. So I just draw a line to balance myself. When we solve equations, the first thing we do is distribute, and we combine like terms, and then we undo addition, subtraction, undo multiplication, division. So let's go ahead and distribute. So I'm going to take this 9 and distribute. 9 times 1 is 9. 9 times negative 2x is a minus 18x. Okay. Just make sure you distribute to each piece. So negative 3x, negative 3 times 1 is a minus 3. Now, I have variables on both sides, that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and undo some of that. I'm going to move my variable to the left, that's where I like it. So I'm going to add 3x to both sides. It's not the only way to do it. Just make sure your answer matches at the ends. Okay, negative 3x plus 3x is 0. Bring down what's left over. 9 minus, this becomes 21x. I'm sorry, I was supposed to add there. See, look at there. Mistakes can be made. So I added here, I have to add here. It should be minus 15x. Quick correction there, sorry about that. Okay, keep going. Subtract 9 from both sides. 9 minus 9 is 0. Negative 15x equals negative 12. Remember, you're multiplying here, so to undo multiplication, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 15. Don't forget that negative sign. The negative 15 divided by negative 15 is 1, so I'm left with x on the left. X is equal to, negative divided by negative makes it positive. 12 divided by 15, then you simplify it, becomes 4/5. So if you got 0.8, you need to hit second PRB in your calculator and make it a fraction. It should be in fraction form. So let's do number 2. Okay. Very similar idea. Actually, I'm just going to get you started on number 2. Here we go. We're going to distribute this negative 3/4 to both pieces. I'm going to do that off to the side over here and show you. Negative 3/4 times 16x. Remember, 16x is 1. So if you multiply across and then divide, you can just make sure you put this in a calculator if you're doing it that way. It ends up becoming nice and even. It ends up becoming negative 12x for the first one. Okay, and then distribute again, and you should get a minus 6. But I'm going to leave you to that problem. Let's go ahead and look at number 3, because this is one we had questions on in the class. How do I get rid of that 2? I would do that at the beginning. I would take both portions, both sides, and multiply them by 2 over 1, since technically this is 1 over 2. So multiply by 2, because that means these cancel, and then you can just distribute these here. So this would all come down here. So we have 5x minus 18 minus, don't forget your parentheses. I'm going to distribute now. I have 6 minus 8x. Okay. Now this is a negative 1 out here. We need to distribute that before we go any further. So 5x minus 18 minus 1x minus 9 equals 6 minus 8x. Let's go ahead and combine like terms. So I get 4x minus 27 equals 6 minus 8x. add 8x to both sides. So I end up with 12x minus 27 equals 6. Keep going. Plus 27 on both sides. So I end up with, promise this fit on my page in class, 12x equals 33. Divide both sides by 12. Make sure to simplify. X is equal to 11/4. Okay? X is equal to 11/4. And I'm going to go ahead and give you your answers here. You still have to show work. So x equals -14 and x equals +5. You still have to show the work that goes with that, but I want you to have the answer. So you're to complete problems 2 and 4 on your own. Alright. So let's go ahead and look at some exponents now. We're going to start with the rules. Remember, we've got bases of your exponent, which are your x's, and then each rule gives you something different. Remember, if you're multiplying and they're kind of next to each other like this, you're going to add the exponent, so it's a plus b. If they're right next to each other, you're going to multiply the exponents. If it's a quotient rule here, and there's one over the other, you're going to take and subtract the exponents. Now this negative exponent one is kind of like a special case. It's one you have to memorize. It's going to shift it to the bottom. Right now this is x to the -a over 1. We're going to switch it. We're going to put 1 over x to the a, and that's going to make that positive. And then x to the 0 is 1. Always. Anything to the 0 power. So let's go over a few of these. -5 times 4 is -20. You're going to have x to the 3 plus 4. So I get -20 x to the 7th. And yes, you don't necessarily have to write them all out if you know how to do them, but just be careful to not skip too many steps there. You end up getting yourself lost. Okay? Now this is a problem that students have in missed pieces. So number 6, make sure that you distribute this 2 to all 3 pieces, even this number in the beginning. So it's -2 squared m m to the 3rd multiplied by 2 squared, n to the 1 squared. You're multiplying those numbers here. So, and then bring this down. Okay, keep going. -2, put it in parentheses. Go ahead and square that, becomes 4. N to the 3 times 2 is n to the 6. N to the 1 times 2 is n squared. Remember, there's a 1 there. Okay? Then we're going to combine the letters that are alike and multiply. So 4 times 7 is 28. 6 m's here and 1 here, so it's m to the 7th. 2 here and 4 here, so there's 6, n to the 6th power. So there's your final answer there. Okay. So let's look at another one. Alright, so let's do number 8. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and work through it. I'm going to go ahead and multiply these and then add these two together. So 10 times 2 is 20. I get 20. W to the 3rd, there's 1 plus 2. over 24w to the 8th power. Alright. We're going to go ahead and simplify that. 20 divided by 24 simplified becomes 5, 6. And then you end up with w3 minus 8. Okay, keep going. 5, 6. W to the negative 5. We can't leave a negative exponent, so change its spot. Right now this is over 1. So if we keep going, we're going to move that w to the 5th to the bottom and make it positive. So 5 over 6 w to the 5th power just moves its position. Alright, so now back where I was. There we go. So now number 7, I'm going to give you some answers here, is 5c to the 10th. Number 9, still have to do all of the work and show your work. 704 a to the 12th, b to the 18th. This is all review for you. 10 would be 27 on top, m squared on bottom. Be careful, watch how you're working things. And this ends up 4. Now I did have a question from someone on number 11. They looked at it because that was the thing that I'm asking in class. They looked at it and they said, okay, wait a sec, whoa. Where do I start with number 7? I'm sorry, number 11. And I said I would distribute this guy. Remember, you're multiplying the exponents. Distribute him first. Again, the biggest error I see in this one is taking this negative 3 and putting it to the 6th power. Make sure you do that. But then you have to give it to everything else also. Right. And that would be review of multi-step equations and exponents.